Happy Wednesday. Happy midweek. Hope everyone's doing all right. How are you feeling today if you want to answer in the chat? And how do you feel about creative exercises? We start off these meditative workshops with a creative exercise, a drawing exercise, which you can totally do at any level of drawing. No expertise required. You can also do it just as a brainstorming journaling activity too. All right, we're feeling a bit tired, but moving and grooving. Nice. Chilly out today and going to snow this weekend. Ah, okay. I didn't know that you had snow, Alex, where you are.
It only comes for like a week of the year, maybe like 4 days of the year. And when it does, it comes in like everything in the city shuts down. For those of you that don't know, I'm in Dallas, if anyone cares. But like the streets freeze over. It's like pretty intense. We're not equipped for the cold. So
Yeah.
like grid will go down and everyone loses heat. It's like a big deal.
Okay. Yeah, well, hope everything goes okay with the city. Hello, everyone who's just joining. We're answering in the chat how you're feeling today and how do you feel about creative exercises. We're going to do a little drawing brainstorming. So, any feels about that? It's also colder here. I'm in Los Angeles this weekend and I just love it. And by cold, I mean it's in the 60s. All right, everyone. We are 3 minutes after the hour. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Okay, so I'll do a brief introduction. We do these meditative workshops once a month, and this month's theme is anchoring, grounding, steadying. I'll talk a little bit more about that. And then we'll dive into our interactive brainstorm drawing exercise. And then we will use that into our meditation at the end. We'll do about 5 to 7 minutes of meditation. So that's the plan. Okay, so defining anchoring, many definitions of anchoring, but in this workshop, we're just thinking of it as something that makes you feel grounded and steady. So if you're thinking of a ship's anchor, if you will, something that settles down into the ground, keeps you in place, keeps you feeling safe and steady, especially when things are getting crazy, overwhelming in life. So that's how we're going to think about it for the purposes of this workshop. Okay, so what else comes to your mind when you think of anchoring? And you can also think of grounding or steadiness, as I mentioned, if you want to share in the chat. Foundation. Building a foundation. Resourcing. Yeah. Rootedness. Amazing. A way to find calm. Definitely. What about me? I really resonate with the ship anchor, which is interesting because I'm not really an ocean kind of gal, but I like the idea of feeling unsteady on the water and then having something that kind of makes the turbulence slow a little bit. So maybe slowness. Okay. Question: how often do you feel anchored? So if you want to answer in the chat, one, hardly ever, two, every now and then, but not frequently, three, fairly often, working on more, and four, on a daily basis. So, whatever definition works for you, how often do you feel it? Two for Alex here, every now and then, I'd be floating. Fair enough, fair enough. I would say two for me as well. I definitely feel it when I meditate, and I try to do that every day, but some days I do miss it. Okay, we've got some two threes, some threes, some twos. All right, so leaning more towards the two threes in this group. All right. Okay, so we're going to jump into a creative exercise, a drawing exercise here, and why we do that. It can help us to shift perspectives, exploring ideas from a different lens. drawing, metaphor, visual storytelling. It's all of a way for us to learn more about ourselves and how we can choose to move forward. So that's why we do this in two parts today. Okay, so with that being said, let's take a second here. We'll do about 30 seconds to grab whatever you need. So grab a piece of paper, something to write with, pen, if you have colored pencils or crayons, colored pens, great. Alex always has her crayons ready to go. I also have my crayons here in this little glass jar. But totally okay to just do this with a pencil or a regular pen too. So let me know in the chat, give me a thumbs up in the chat or a reaction if you are ready to go. All right, we got a couple thumbs up here. We'll wait a few more seconds, make sure everyone has what they need. All right. Okay, cool. Feel free to keep grabbing what you need while I start on this first step here. So the first part of our drawing, we're gonna have two parts. The first part is to draw your anchor. We've got an example here of an anchor. Feel free to copy that if that feels comfortable, or you can do your own anchor. The idea here is to keep space inside the anchor, a fair amount of space, because you're going to be drawing things inside of it in the next step. So again, this could be this traditional anchor in the sea or any other image or tool that feels like an anchor for you. And again, make sure you leave a lot of space inside the outline of the anchor. All right, we'll leave a couple minutes here to do that. And if you are drawing a scene, like perhaps the ocean, feel free to add other parts. You could add the water around it, the sky, the sun. And if you did choose an anchor unlike this one, feel free to share in the chat what you are drawing. You can also put the image up to the camera if you'd like to share, if you want to turn your camera on. Alex and I usually do, so feel free to join us with that. And let me know how everyone's doing if you need more time. Okay, here's mine. I didn't do as many nooks and crannies as the anchor in the drawing there, but it's really big and has plenty of space. And then I did the sun and some clouds, and then a little bit of the ocean there. My anchor is definitely sticking way out of the water. It's not submerged by any means. That wasn't necessarily on purpose, but that's what I'm doing. All right, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you're ready to go, if you have the outline of your anchor, or a thumbs up reaction. All right, we got a couple. How about you, Alex? I know you needed an extra minute. Don't want to rush anyone. Ooh, yours is submerged in the water. Nice. Lots of blue water. All right. Okay, we'll go on to the next one and I'll describe it. Okay, great. So inside that space in your anchor, in the blank space, you're going to draw things that make you feel grounded or steady. So examples here could be movement, exercises, simple stretches, routines, habits that you have, maybe in the morning, afternoon, evenings, connection, people, things that you do with others in your life, mindfulness activities like breathing or meditation, yoga, etc. Nutrition, maybe some certain foods, drinks make you feel grounded, and just activities, maybe outings, seeing movies, for example, or cultural things, theater, and nature as well. So, those are all types of examples, but whatever works for you. So, draw inside your anchor things that make you feel anchored, grounded, or steady. We'll spend about 4 or 5 minutes here. And if you want to share in the chat some of the things that you put inside your anchor, feel free. All right, we've got some shares here. Pets, hot chai, fire pits, deep breathing, hiking. Thanks for sharing. I'll share mine. Going for walks outside at sunset. I've actually started doing them sometimes in the morning too, but seeing nature. There's a lot of cats in my neighborhood, and I like seeing those. And music, piano, singing, chocolate. My family friends. I just drew a bunch of circles with smiley faces, so that's for my family friends. And calling them on the phone can help. For me, meditation and lying on my foam roller. playing with dogs, nature, walks, breath work, hugging loved ones. Awesome. Thank you for sharing. And if anyone wants to show us their picture too, feel free. Alex, I'm curious how you filled it all in. Yeah. Ah, okay, so you wrote the things? Yeah, nice. I drew I drew mine. I know it's kind of far back. I started drawing a chocolate bar here and then it looked more like a piano, which I was going to do anyway, so I turned my chocolate bar into a piano. All right, everyone, we'll do one more minute here. And if you're ready to go, give me a thumbs up. Stoic journaling, going on long runs, hikes, skiing, meditation. Well, you're in the right place because we're going to jump into a meditation. Sleep, healthy food, water, love, hugs, exercise, art making. We're also doing art making too. Getting off of my phone. Yes, that's a big one for me too. Putting it in another room, hiding it up high on a piece of furniture is my latest thing. All right, everybody. Okay, so as you're finishing up here, I'll just speak briefly about meditation. So, some of the benefits you might have heard with meditation are relaxation in the moment and afterwards, increasing our overall awareness of our body and our mind, lowering stress levels. It may create neural pathways as well, and fostering creativity in general. And as we jump into our meditation, remembering there is no right or wrong way to meditate here. You can go ahead, close your eyes when we start, or keep them open. If you're feeling uncomfortable in your body, feel free to move, adjust, not meant to stay in the same position. And if you need to come out of the meditation, feel free to do so. We'll be here for the next 10 minutes, so you can rejoin whenever works for you. And also just keeping in mind that thoughts will come. That is part of the mind and it's part of meditation. So that is okay. All right. So let's go ahead, if you haven't already, put aside what you're working on there and get into a position that feels comfy for you, either seated or lying down. All right, I think everyone's all set here. So let's jump in, closing your eyes if that feels comfortable. And let's start with a few deeper than normal breaths here as you settle into where you are seated or resting. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth or nose, whatever works for you. Feeling the expansion and lengthening on the inhale and the full release and relaxation of the exhale. Continue a few more deeper than normal breaths, expanding that rib cage on the inhale and sinking deeper into where you are seated on the exhale. Inviting your shoulders to relax, softening the jaw and the forehead. And let's take notice of your body in this moment. Just noticing the different parts and areas of your body and how they are today. No judgment, just noticing where you're at in this moment. And if there's an area that is calling out to you, anything with tension, you can send some extra breath there. And so now we're going to bring our awareness to the grounding and anchoring points in your body. And this could be different for everyone. Noticing what resonates with you, thinking of the feet, touching the ground, or whatever they're resting against. Noticing the hands, touching your body or a surface near you. Noticing the grounding point of your chest, the power and the weight there. Noticing the grounding point of your hips, feeling the weight and steadiness there. Or the grounding point of even the back of the head. Do a scan for yourself and find which point feels the most anchoring for you. And keep your awareness on this point as you continue to breathe. Let yourself feel the anchoring sensation as your mind and body gains steady support here. Letting yourself really sink into this area and feel the steady grounding flowing from there out through the rest of your body. Feeling that grounding emanating up and down and throughout your whole body. I am steady. I am grounded. I am anchored. I am steady. I am grounded. I am anchored. We will enter into silent meditation for a few minutes. You might choose to silently repeat one of those anchoring statements, or just focus on your anchoring point or breath. Continue breathing as you bring your attention back to your breath. And as you take a couple deep breaths to close today, let yourself think on, how can I use my anchors the next time I feel unsteady? How can I use my anchors the next time I feel unsteady? Go ahead, take a deep breath, filling up the lungs and exhaling out a long sigh here. And whenever you're ready, giving a wiggle of the fingers and the toes, waking up the body into this present moment. You can give a sway of the hips and the neck, and open your eyes whenever you're ready. If you'd like to come on camera here, or just share in the chat as you're coming back to this moment, how you felt after the meditation. I know it can be hard after these meditations, as always, to come out of it and join us, but if you'd like to, whatever's comfy for you. And if you also want to share any thoughts you had about how you can use this anchor exercise the next time you feel unsteady. Feeling calm, awesome, sleepy, less in my head, more in my body. Amazing. Sleepy in the best way. Okay. Hopefully, this gives you a little reset for your day today, a reset for the month, the week. All right, everyone. So we do this once a month, a different theme for each month. So would love for you to join next month. And as always, we have our body doubling sessions. You can check out events in the events section of the app. And everything is recorded as well. So you can check this out again if you like, or any of the other meditative workshops or workshops we do. Those are in the past events section. Liking the question, how can I use my anchors? Yeah, awesome. All right, everyone, we are almost at 30 after the hour, so we'll let you go. Have a beautiful day. Thanks for being with us. Lovely to be with you. One last question. How long workshops? Usually within a week, correct, Alex? The workshops are posted?
This one we should have up by tomorrow. The automation one is being edited. We had a slight hiccup with the recording, but should be up within the next day.
Yeah, usually the meditative workshops are within a day or two.